Hey book lovers, Kaylee here, and welcome back to the Enchanted Library, and welcome to my very first reading vlog of 2021. So just a very quick intro here because I'm going to be updating you throughout the month on my progress for Ross Poldark by Winston Graham. And this is the first book in the Poldark series, which is also on the BBC. I have not seen this show, but I have heard about it for so long, and I'm very excited to be getting to this book finally, as I'm going to be reading this as a buddy read with BiblioVirgo on YouTube. She also goes by @BiblioVirgoBrewsTea over on Instagram. So this is the start of an epic series based in Cornwall from 1783 to 1787 for this particular book. Basically, the back reads, tired from a grim war in America, Ross Poldark returns to his land and his family. But the joyful homecoming he had anticipated turns sour, for his father is dead, his estate derelict, and the girl he loves is engaged to his cousin. However, his sympathy for the destitute miners and farmers of the district leads him to rescue a half-starved urchin girl from a fairground brawl and take her home, an act which alters the whole course of his life. I love historical fiction. I haven't read anything properly from this era or this time or this place, so this being my introduction to that is going to be amazing, I feel like. And again, this is book one in a series, so I'm starting a lot of series this year, but that's okay because reading is great. So I feel like how this is going to go is, like I said, I will update you periodically throughout the month about my thoughts and share what we're talking about in our group chat, and hopefully just in general be able to give some reaction footage for this book. So I guess next time I see you is probably going to be in about a week. Hey guys, okay, so it's not quite a week later, but I am going to be testing out my vlog abilities in this instance because I have caught up on my first set of pages for Poldark, which I don't think I mentioned this in the main video, but we do have a schedule of reading that we're supposed to do for this buddy read. So for week one, we're supposed to read from page 1 to 114, so I was able to do that relatively quickly. And I guess my first initial thoughts really is that I guess I didn't really know what to expect going into this. I don't even think I paid attention to when this book was written. So it was written originally in 1945, and I feel like that really shows in the writing style, because I'm not sure if it's the writing of the time or if it was the writing of the time of someone who thinks of how something from 1783 would be written, because that's when Ross Poldark takes place. So it was a little bit jarring. There is some phrasing and some wording that really throws me off at times, and it has taken me a little bit to actually get into. But I am very interested in the story. There are a lot of characters that we're introduced to initially, and the way that the paragraphs and everything are broken up really makes you think about whose perspective you're reading from, because it's very much interchangeable, and some people might not be totally into that, but you could be reading from Ross Poldark's perspective in one sentence, and then the very next sentence you're reading something from inside of his cousin Verity's mind. So honestly, for the first little bit, it is a bit jarring, but I don't mind it too much. At this point, at page 114, we are really just getting into the start of what this whole story is going to be about, and the thing that really kicks things off. So going forward, I'm sure I'm going to have a lot more to say, but so far I am very interested in continuing on with this. There are a few phrases and wordings that I'm not too keen on. For example, he's very blunt. Winston Graham, the author, is very blunt about how he describes the way that people look. So if they are overweight, he just blatantly calls them fat. He is really not sensitive to any of that, but it is something to sort of try and look past because of obviously the time in which it was written. It's something that is always difficult to deal with when reading classic literature or literature that was written previous to, I would say, even the 90s. But like I said, the story I'm still very interested in. I will keep you updated on my thoughts going forward, and I will probably touch base with you the next time that I read my next set of pages. So that should be at page 223 based on our schedule. Oh, hello, welcome to my floor. It's about a week later from the last post that you saw, and I have completed my next set of pages for Ross Poldark, Poldark number 1. I finished them a couple of days ago, so I wanted to sort of sit a little bit in my thoughts, but I am still really enjoying this book. There are a few things that concern me a little bit in regards to the romance, because I feel like this is setting it up so then that way Ross and Demelza have a romance. The weird thing right now for me that I can't wrap my head around is the fact that Ross is in his mid-20s, I believe, and Demelza at this point is like 14. So, and she works for him. So it's very weird in that sense, and there's just a few things I'm still trying to get through, which is the idea of jumping character POVs, like from one paragraph to the other, even if the paragraph is only like a sentence. So I'm still trying to get past that, but in the back of my head, I'm really worried about this potential romance, to be completely honest. I will say though that the more that I read this book, the more I really appreciate Ross's character. I think that he is just genuinely a good man. He knows when to keep his mouth shut, he knows when to speak up, he knows how to look out for people, he has other people's best interests at heart, and that is honestly something that's really carrying me through this book so far, is that I just love his interactions with people. I don't know, I'm just enjoying it a lot so far, even though there are some qualms that I have with it. I think that it might be because, I think I said this in my last clip as well, it might be because of the time that this was written, it might be because of the time that it's set that these choices have been made. There are a lot of issues that I have with the dialogue, because instead of saying that someone has a lisp, or instead of saying that someone has a stutter, or instead of saying that someone is hemming and hawing or umming or whatever, he puts that into the actual dialogue, and it makes reading it such a chore. Like, there is a wedding in this, and the priest just keeps umming and hmming, and it's very difficult to get through. But overall, the story, I'm very much enjoying it. And I think that's really my only update right now. There is a lot that's happening in this. It does span, like it spans from 1783 to 87, so that is a lot of time to pass. The passage of time is subtle in here, like it doesn't tell you that this chapter takes place this month, this year. Winston Graham sort of leaves it up to you to figure that out by talking about the way that the crops are, by talking about people getting married and then having kids and that sort of a thing. So it's up to you to keep that in your head, that time is passing, instead of just thinking that everything is one after the other. And I will probably, I've just got my calendar up here, I will probably update you maybe this time next week with my next set of pages, which will bring me to 340. So we're about halfway through the book right now, and it's working out pretty well because I am intermixing reading this with other books. What I will say though is let me know, because I haven't really done this style of a reading vlog before where I basically just chime in. So if you guys want to see more of what I get up to throughout the week when I do reading vlogs, instead of just me chatting you through once I get to a certain point, please let me know in the comments, because this is like a new thing for me that I'm trying, and we'll see how it goes. Like, I guess I could have shown you, because from the time that I filmed my introduction to this video, I have painted this bedroom, I have changed my bedding, I bought a book cart, the art has changed on the wall. Like, do you want to see stuff like that? I'm very curious. But yes, Poldark, going well, enjoying it. My buddy readers are also very much enjoying it and are excited to see where things go. So that's Ryan, and so Bibliovirgo Bruce T over on Instagram, Bibliovirgo on here, and then Jojo Reads over on Instagram. So we are all enjoying it very, very much, and I will update you guys in a week. Okay guys, welcome to my bed. We're just seeing different views of my bedroom for this vlog. Okay. So I read my next set of pages for Poldark, or Ross Poldark, by Winston Graham, and I'm having a lot of issues with it, you guys, honestly. And a lot of them do stem from how uncomfortable I am with the romance. So, I know a lot of people find that the romance in this book is like so sweet and so soft and so like well done. But I'm at 340 right now for the pages and stuff happened. And I'm not okay with it. One of the girls has already finished this book, Ryan. She already told me what her rating is for this, and I feel like I'm gonna have the same ratings. I don't have very much left to go with this book. I have like maybe 100 pages left, so I'll be able to finish this really quick, but I do want to say right now I'm not okay with what's going on. Guys, there's gonna be spoilers here. So we have Ross Poldark, who at this point in the book is 27, and we have Demelza, who at this point in the book is 17. Now I understand that a lot happened back in the day, and having a 10-year age difference and having a teenager with like a mid-20s or older person is a thing that happened. I get that. I read a lot of historical fiction. My issue with this right now is that Demelza, yes, she's 17, but she still acts very childish. She's very much child-minded, and that's what skeeves me out with this. Things happen. Ross and Demelza slept together. There we go. But after that happened, Demelza immediately like leaves the house. Well, not immediately. In the morning, she leaves the house and she goes and flits away with different like bugs and talks about them and just like hangs out in the grass, which is fine, I guess. But then when she comes back, Elizabeth is there, who is Ross's first love for all intents and purposes, and her inner monologue, Demelza's inner monologue, is like, I hope she gets fat, I don't like her, like again, very childish. So the fact that Ross and Demelza sleep together and that is like a very adult thing to do, for her still being in such a mindset of a child, it's really like Ross was taking advantage of her. Also, not to mention the fact that he saved her when she was 13, and he was like a father figure to her for so long. So to me, this is like a father figure taking advantage of a young girl, and it really disgusts me. So, I don't know. Also, with this book, the general plot, if you like, I think I said this before already, but if you like a day-to-day kind of a life of a minor in like the 1780s, then definitely, I guess, read this book. It's very slow. There doesn't seem to be much of a plot. It's just day-to-day life, and all of the paragraphs and everything run into each other, and all of the thoughts of different characters run into each other. I know I've mentioned that before, but yeah, I'm kind of having issues figuring out what the grand scheme of this series is, if it is just following day-to-day life, or if there is something bigger going on. But my brain keeps coming back to the fact that Ross and Demelza had sex, and she's still like a child, so I don't know. We'll see. I'll finish this book. Probably gonna rate it the same as what Ryan rated it, but I'll let you guys know once I'm done, because the next time that you see me, I will be wrapping this up. So I'll see you then. Alright, welcome to the end of my first buddy read reading vlog. I finished Ross Poldark about a week ago, and honestly, it didn't get much better. I really wish that it did, you guys. I was very, very disappointed with this read, and all of my thoughts that I had before just continued. Not comfortable with the romance, the writing didn't really get better, there wasn't really a clear plot or idea for what this series is going to be going forward, other than just keeping with the status quo of it being day-to-day life in Cornwall, and I don't think that I can stick with this series based on what I've read in this book. I'm not intrigued enough to continue on with it. I ended up giving it about a 2-star because there were so many issues with it, which I've already outlined before. It's just more of the same, and overall, I was considering it was a month to read this book. I feel so upset. But that is the end of this reading vlog. I don't really have much more to say, so I do apologize for that. No big revelation or something that happened at the end that made me love it. The other girls also felt somewhat similar. I think Jo is going to continue on with the series just because she has watched the show and she wants to read more of the source material. But Ryan and I don't think are continuing on with it, or at least not anytime soon. So unfortunately this was a bit of a miss. But that happens in reading. You can't love everything. I can see why I guess some people would like this if you do like a bit of a slower read, but the way that this was laid out, the way it was written, the underlying plot issues, the underlying romance issues, it's just too much for me to get past, and so, like I said, this was a miss. So kind of a bummer video overall, but hopefully you guys did enjoy it. Please like this video if you would like to see me try doing some more reading vlogs and giving my opinions throughout. Leave a comment down below if you do have recommendations of things that you would like to see within reading vlogs. And be sure to subscribe to my channel for more content, hit the bell notification icon so you know when I post new videos, and until next time, keep reading.